be presenting to you my topic, that is Ethereum. We'll be talking about Ethereum and how it is different from all the other cryptocurrencies, what it provides, and what are its limitations. So let's get started. So the modern technology that we use, we have certain features and there are certain requirements that we wish from them. Mainly, we want to do what we do at as less a cost as possible. And when we talk about costs, we mean energy, we mean the cost of the time it takes. All of these things should be as less as possible. Another thing we want is that there is no there's no loss of data, there's no loss of features while we are accessing this, and we want to remove any point of failure as soon as possible and as fast as possible. We also want to prevent censorship, which means we don't want any particular party to control what is being used and what is being accessed in the part of the technology. And we also want it to be transparent, which is to say that we want to understand what is going on behind the scenes and if we are being duped or not in any certain way. We have the power to create technologies that are decentralized today, and we can connect to a global network to host and share applications with each other without inhibition, quickly and very easily. Now, Bitcoin was a file sharing application developed in 2001. Being the first of its kind, BitTorrent allowed users to distribute data over the internet in a decentralized manner. It was the first decentralized application that was ever created. It was designed by a programmer called Bram Cohen. Now, in 1991, two cryptographers by the name of Stuart Haber and W. Scott Sternetta authored the paper titled How to Timestamp a Digital Document. This paper talked about procedures that maintain complete privacy of documents themselves and require no record keeping by the timestamping service. It talked about the modern things that we talk about during when we talk about blockchain, which is digital signatures, hash functions, as well as the linking between different documents. I would highly recommend to everybody who's willing to learn to read this paper throughout and understand what today is all about, what blockchain is all about. On 31st October, a person or a group of people, the identity of which is still unknown, by the name of Satoshi Nakamoto published a white paper on the cryptography mailing list at metzdownload.com, describing a digital cryptocurrency titled Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. This was the genesis of blockchain as we know it, and directly resulted in the creation of the world's highest market cap blockchain network called Bitcoin. Bitcoin was the Bitcoin was the world's first decentralized currency. Decentralized currencies like Bitcoin allow people to send money to people anywhere around the world with no regards to physical boundaries between countries and with negligible fees. Bitcoin is a decentralized digital currency without a central bank or a single administrator that can be sent from user to user on the peer-to-peer Bitcoin network without the need of any intermediaries. They can be exchanged for other currencies, products, and services, which are growing rapidly day by day. Bitcoin, however, has been criticized for its use in illegal transactions thanks to the anonymity it provides, a large amount of electricity used by mining, price volatility, and thefts from different exchanges. Some investors and economists have characterized it as a speculative bubble at various times. Others have used it, however, as an investment, although several regulatory agencies have issued investor alerts about Bitcoin. In September 2021, El Salvador officially adopted Bitcoin as a legal tender in the face of internal and international criticism, becoming the first nation to ever do so. Now, while the Bitcoin network had established itself, Vitalik Buterin came up with the Vitalik Buterin was the co-founder of a famous magazine known as the Bitcoin magazine, a magazine claimed to be arguably the first serious publication dedicated entirely to cryptocurrencies. Buterin initially had realized the potential of such a network to be much more far-reaching as had been predicted, and argued that Bitcoin needed a scripting language for application development. Bitcoin comes along with a scripting language that is found to be Turing incomplete. which is to say that when you program something on this blockchain and you use it and you publish the code and you start using the blockchain to enter your code, this particular programmable part of the blockchain is actually Turing incomplete, which means that you cannot express every particular logic into this particular scripting language. Vitalik Buterin, however, had realized that a Turing complete language with all of the features available to a Turing complete language would have far reaching consequences. That is when he came up with the idea of Ethereum. Vitalik Buterin came up with the idea of Ethereum blockchain network in 2013 in the Ethereum white paper. The Ethereum white paper was circulated and interest grew in the protocol in the late 2013 and early 2014. Formal development of the software began in early 2014 through a Swiss company, Ethereum Switzerland GmbH. Development was funded by an online public crowd sale from July to August 2014, with the participants buying the Ethereum value token with another digital currency called Bitcoin. The network went live on 30th July 2015. Talking about Ethereum, it is a blockchain-based software platform and has been described as the world's first programmable blockchain, positioning itself as an electronic programmable network with many applications. By contrast, the Bitcoin blockchain was created only to support the cryptocurrency Bitcoin. Ether is the cryptocurrency generated by the Ethereum protocol as a reward to all the miners in a proof of work system for adding blocks to the blockchain. It is the only currency accepted in the payment of transaction fees, which also goes to the miners. Basically, if Bitcoin is digital gold, Ether is digital oil. It is the currency that is used to fuel the entire Ethereum blockchain network. The block reward together with the transaction fees provide the incentive to miners to keep the blockchain growing rapidly. Therefore, Ethereum is fundamental to the operation of the entire network. Each Ethereum account has an Ether balance and may send Ether to many other accounts. The smallest subunit of Ether is known as Wei, named after the cryptocurrency pioneer Wei Dai, and is equal to 10 to the power minus 8 Ether. Gigawei or Gwei is 10 to the power minus 9 Ether. A smart contract is basically a computer program or a transaction protocol. A contract is a set of rules that dictate the behavior, just like a program. It is intended to automatically execute, control, and document legally relevant events and actions according to the terms of a contract or an agreement decided beforehand. Code on the blockchain was an idea of Vitalik Buterin in his white paper. The white paper talked about the cryptocurrency Ethereum, described as the Bitcoin protocol as a weak version of the smart contract concept, as defined by this entire term was originated from Nick Szabo, who was a computer scientist, lawyer, and cryptographer. Bitcoin script allows one to code on the Bitcoin network, while Solidity allows one to code on Ethereum. Solidity, however, is Turing complete. Loops have been added into this language, but they bring along a very dangerous task and can cause inefficiency in the blockchain. Now, to tackle this particular problem, the concept of gas was established. For any computation to run on the blockchain, the developer of smart contracts need to pay gas fees, which is basically a cost asked from the code author to run computation on the blockchain network. This ensures the nodes are used effectively and also encourages authors to write efficient code. Now, the Ethereum virtual machine. To carry out terms of contract in a trusted environment and eliminate the need of a central authority, the Ethereum virtual machine is used. It is a runtime environment for transaction execution in Ethereum. It consists of a stack, a memory, some gas balance, program counters, persistent storage for all accounts. When a transaction calls a contract function, the arguments in the call are added to this stack, and the EVM translates this contract's byte code into stack operations. The The main reason EVM is used is because it is isolated from all the other files and processes on the node's computer, ensuring that for a given pre-transaction state and transaction, every node produces the same post-transaction state, thereby enabling network consensus. dApps, an application that can operate autonomously, typically through the use of smart contracts, that runs on decentralized computing blockchain system. Like traditional applications, dApps provide some function or utility to its users. However, unlike traditional applications, dApps operate without human intervention at all and are not owned by any one entity, but rather dApps distribute tokens that represent ownership to raise funding. Some of the famous dApps are CryptoKitties, Uniswap, and Chainlink. Coins. Now, many coins come along using the entire Ethereum blockchain network, and they are based on ERC standards. ERC stands for Ethereum Request for Comment or Request for Comment, a similar concept that is devised by the Internet Engineering Task Force as a means of conveying essential technical notes. The process it basically allows you to contribute to the features of Ethereum. They all follow this rule known as the ERC20 rule, and many of the coins today that we know of are based on ERC20 itself. Tether, Chainlink, all of these are tokens based on ERC20 standard. There can be many uses of these tokens, including Chainlink, for example, being an oracle providing you certain services that normally would take you hours to write. Stable coins are coins that follow the trends of a particular real world example without actually being extremely volatile. A point to note here would be that investing in an ICO, which is an initial coin offering, is very risky. Sometimes a company initiating an ICO earns too much money through its initiation, and actually this causes a rug pull by the organization behind the ERC20 token. Plenty of well-known digital currencies use the ERC20 standard, including Maker, Basic Attention Token, Augur, and Omesco. According to the Ethereum white paper, the code is law, which means that the code is self-executing, letter strict, immutable, and extremely difficult to secure once deployed. The real reason we're talking about is because of the DAO incident that happened during 2016. In 2016, a decentralized autonomous organization, the DAO, a set of smart contracts developed on the platform, raised a record $150 million in a crowd sale to fund the project. However, shortly after, a loophole was found in this code, and a person took advantage of this loophole in the code to drain the organization of $50 million. The event sparked a debate in the crypto community about whether Ethereum should perform a contentious hard fork to reappropriate the affected funds. It resulted in the network splitting into two blockchains known as a hard fork. Ethereum with the theft reserved was called Ethereum, whereas Ethereum with the theft intact was called Ethereum Classic. Another limitation was seen when we talk about CryptoKitties, which is a very famous dApp on the Ethereum blockchain. CryptoKitties is a blockchain game on Ethereum developed by Canadian studio Dapper Labs that allows players to purchase, collect, breed, and sell virtual cats. It is one of the earliest attempts to deploy blockchain technology for recreation and leisure. Now, the limitation here being that Ethereum can only use 15 transactions per second. However, shortly after the launch of CryptoKitties in 2017, there were concerns that CryptoKitties was crowding out other businesses that use the Ethereum platform. The game caused an increase in the pending transactions on Ethereum, and at one point accounted for about 25% of the network on Ethereum blockchain. Ethereum miners therefore increased the gas limit in response to the CryptoKitties game, which allowed for more data per block and increasing transactions per second. Every action in the game resulted in a transaction, and the congestion led to overwhelming of the entire blockchain. This also showed the limitation of the throughput of the entire blockchain network. While CryptoKitties hasn't picked up the pace, many other apps today like Uniswap or other DeFi apps actually require a lot of bandwidth, a lot of throughput from this entire blockchain network. This is where the idea of Ethereum 2.0 comes in. Issues with scalability due to everybody having a copy of the transactions is one of the main reasons for this delay of throughput. Now, Ethereum is maintained by an open source community at the moment, and they make changes regularly to improve upon the performance of Ethereum. Many changes have been introduced, and at the moment EIP 1559 was implemented, which allows for ETH to get burned. However, Ethereum 2.0 is a next step forward, which includes of three phases: phase 0, 1 and 2. Phase 0 has already currently been deployed, which includes of a beacon chain, which rather than the proof of work network that we use today, is actually a proof of stake network in nature. This would reduce upon the electricity used by this binding process, and thereby increase performance of the entire network on its own. However, this is a beacon change, and it will only be merged to the original chain in phase 1. This phase 1 is expected to happen sometime in the mid 2022, and this will cause Ethereum to be deflationary by nature, actually resulting in large scale appreciation of the price. However, this might not solve the gas fee problem to a large extent, and also miners will have to make this transition from the beacon chain, from the actual chain, to the merging of the beacon chain with the original chain. Phase 2 then comes along with sharding, which could fix all of the problems further. Sharding would involve everybody not having a copy of the transactions, but actually each transaction being recorded in a specific shard, and then a parent process on top of all of these to coordinate all of these other shards. So while we talked about how Ethereum was one of the first programmable blockchains, there are a lot of limitations that come along with it, specifically with relations to the scalability of this entire network. However, the Ethereum open source community is extremely active and hope to improve upon this through Ethereum 2.0. Thank you.